Looking at Justin Herbert's seasons as a Charger, it's easy to know why so many people think that his rookie season was his best season. And statistically, it was a very good rookie season. However, I don't believe it was his best season. In his rookie year, he only had 689 snaps. He went 7-9. Per PFF, his grade was 79.9, which was third best. He had 31 TDs on 10 interceptions at a 3.1 rate, which is really good. His TD to total snap ratio was 4.4%. Which is the best. His interception to TDs was 0.32, which was second best. And his TD to interception to snap ratio was also his best. This was under Sean Steichen, whose offense is considered a digital style offense with rhythm. The rush yards per attempt that year was 3.8, which is pretty much the same every year except for 2021. He had 228 first downs, which is 33%, which is his best first down per snap ratio year. His NFL rating is 98.3, which is the best. Yards per attempt, 7.3. QBR, 62.6, which is third best. QBR rank, 13th. The total team red zone TD scoring rank was 18th, and he had 3 fourth quarter comeback wins. So in many ways, it was his best year, but in my opinion, 2021 was his best year. He had 1,190 snaps. They went 9-8. His PFF grade was 90. He had 38 total TDs on 15 interceptions. Which is 2.5 TD interception rate. His interception to TD rate was 0.39, which is his worst. This was under Lombardi, whose offense is described as a stick-flat concept with rubs, kind of a dink and dunk. The rush yards per attempt were 3.7. He had 273 first downs in 2021. The rush yards per attempt were 4.3. His NFL rating was 97.7, which is his second best year. Yards per attempt, 7.5 best, which is funny because a lot of fans didn't like the fact that Lombardi had a lot of dink and dunk passes, but if you look at Kellen Moore, whose offense is considered a vertical attack style offense, his yards per average was 6.9, which is less than 2021, which is really interesting. But anyways, in 2021, his QBR was 70.9, which is his best year. His QBR rank was third. The team's red zone TD scoring rank was second, and he had 5 fourth quarter comeback wins. I think in 2021, this was the year that Staley went on it on fourth down a lot. I think he trusted the offense to usually convert those fourth downs, as opposed to 2022 when he kind of went the opposite and didn't do a lot of fourth quarter conversions because the offense ended up not being as good, but the defense was a little bit better, or was better, a lot better than it was in 2021. I thought 2022 would have been a better year, and record-wise it was, but we did make the playoffs in 2022. Justin Herbert had 1,232 snaps. We went 10-7. PFF grade was 77.9, which is considered third best. 26 TDs, 10 interceptions, again under Lombardi. Yards per attempt rushing was 3.7, 249 first downs, 92.7 NFL rating, 6.8 yards per attempt. He had a 60.2 QBR, which is his worst QBR of all 4 seasons. He was ranked 11th. Red zone TD scoring rank was 8th, and he had 5 fourth quarter comeback wins again. 2023, he had 834 snaps. Win-loss was 5-12. He had an 85.5 PFF grade, which is his second best grade. He had 20 TDs to 7 interceptions, which is a 2.9 rate, which is second best to his rookie year. So that ratio was very good, interception to TD rate. Also, his TD interception to snap rate was very good. Kellen Moore's offense is described as a pre-snap motion, 11 personnel, and a vertical threat passing attack. Our rushing yards per attempt were 3.8. First downs, 164, which is the least amount of all years. NFL rating was 93.2. Yards per attempt, 6.9. QBR, 64.1, which is second best. QBR rank 5th. Red zone TD scoring rank was the worst of all years at 19, and he only had 1 fourth quarter comeback win. So in some ways, the 2023 year with Kellen Moore was good in the sense that he didn't throw a lot of interceptions and he threw a lot of touchdowns considering the snap count. However, not many first downs. His QBR was okay, and the red zone touchdown scoring rank was horrible. In my opinion, Herbert's best year was his 2021 year, first year with Lombardi. He had the best QBR rating rushing. He had the best yards per attempt. He had the best PFF grade, threw the most touchdowns, also threw the most interceptions. But that was the year that I think the whole team stayed healthy for the most part. Slater was injured in 2022, almost all the year. That hurt a lot. Mike Williams got hurt before the playoffs in the last game of the regular season. So I think if you consider that maybe Slater would have stayed healthy the entire year, we would have had Mike Williams for the playoffs. 2022 would have been a better year, but injuries are just part of the game. 2023, again, there was a lot of injuries. Mike Williams went out early. Lindsley got hurt fairly early. Eckler got hurt. So there was a lot of injuries that year as well. So I think these offenses benefit Herbert in different ways. I think Shane Steichen used more of an RPO, so you definitely utilize Herbert's legs. Lombardi's, dink and dunk concepts kind of take what the defense is giving you, so you just get easy yardage. And his red zone touchdown scoring rank was second his first year and eighth his second year, which is really good. I think that's really important. It's important to score touchdowns. And Kellen Moore was really good at having a very good touchdown to interception ratio, and he was able to achieve that with a minimal ability to rush. However, wasn't able to score a lot of touchdowns. Using pre-snap motion helps you identify either zone or man coverage. Maybe Greg Roman will take a little bit from each and see what was successful and use it with Herbert. But at the end of the day, I think having a good rushing attack is vital in helping you passing attack. If you look at most offenses that are most successful, their passing attack their rushing attack is very good. And I think those are interrelated. You can't have one without the other. And if you do, it's probably going to make it more difficult, and you're only going to get so far, really, because once you get to the red zone, you can't spread the field, and you're going to have to rely more on your offensive line to rush the ball and punch the ball into the end zone, which is incredibly important. I also ran some correlation with the numbers, and what I found was that interceptions had a high correlation with wins. And at first I thought, that can't be. There's no way interceptions have a high correlation with wins. But then I thought about it, and if you look at the 2021 and 2022 seasons, in 2021 Herbert had the most interceptions in his 4-year career at 15, and they went 9-8. And in 2022 they went 10-7, and he had 10 interceptions, tied for second most interceptions in his career. And if you look at his snap count, he had a very high snap count. So he had the ball a lot, which means that either the offense is staying on the field driving the ball, or the defense is giving the ball back to the offense. And I think in 2022 that was the case in terms of the defense being able to stop the other opposing offenses and give the ball back to Herbert, thus allowing Herbert to have more snap count and resulting in more interceptions. In 2021, I think the offense was the strength of the team. They would have put in long drives, scored touchdowns, and as a result, he had more snap count that way. So ideally, I think what you want is you want to have a high efficient offense that doesn't necessarily throw a lot of interceptions, but is able to drive the ball, score, and have a defense that can get off field and give the ball back to your offense so they can have more chances to score. So I think that's what's going on with the interception correlation with the wins. And if you look at first downs to interceptions correlation, that has a very high correlation as well. So I found that interesting, that interceptions have a high correlation with wins as well as first downs.